like many good things in this world, if not protected, it can fall apart. I came up with the topic for this video 2 weeks ago, I think it was. This one was a little bit different because, I don't know, I just felt like it's more personal, and I felt like even the act of planning it and writing it out was going to be a difficult process. So I didn't write it out. I didn't plan this video basically before I waste any more time. Today, I want to tell my story of depression. In 2016, I was diagnosed with depression. And I can't remember exactly what the diagnosis was. Basically, he told me that it was like a single episode, but very severe. I have told my depression story before, and every time the difficulty is this feeling of being transported back to that time and place that was very difficult for me for so many reasons. It was a slow process of getting to the point where I realized I was depressed, and it was almost as if as soon as he told me the reality of the depression, even though I kind of already had the idea, once he said it, it was like, man, this is real now. This is a reality. And I think that there's a lot of issues in society in general, but also in Hispanic culture that have an effect on male depression. And granted, I think that I have done a lot of the personal work necessary to be able to break some of those chains. But I think that there are many men who are suffering with depression, and they'll never accept that fact. I knew that I was suffering. I knew that the fact that I would be just sitting down, eating a meal by myself, and I would be overcome with sadness and pain and just start crying and have no thoughts tied to it. I knew that this was much deeper than just feeling bad about certain things that were going on in my life. And if you know me, you know that for most of my life, I've been leading people in different contexts, but mainly within a church context. And 2014 and 15 actually was the highest of highs that I ever experienced in regards to leadership and relating to people and being there for people. I was leading a tightly knit, beautiful group of people, and we were just vibing. We were having the time of our life, doing what we felt we were purposed to do. And you know, like many good things in this world, if not protected, it can fall apart. If not protected, it will be attacked. And that's exactly what happened. And this was probably one of the biggest influences that led to my depression, but little by little, that group just crumbled. And a group that was consistently about 20 to 30 people ended up just being my close-knit family and my wife, and you know, some of those people coming in and out. And that was just devastating for me. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been in a place where you just experience something so beautiful, and for whatever reason, something breaks those expectations? And then now you're left with the feeling of that beauty, and yet an accompanying feeling of that beauty being ripped away from your hands. The saddest part of the story was that when I hit rock bottom in 2016 was the same year that me and my wife got married. Sometimes she tells me stories about things that I said during that time, and it's so hard to hear them because I just can't imagine having said those things to somebody who I love. I really just was not myself at all. When we get to points in our life where we experience deep pain, when we get to points where we experience devastation in ways that we've never experienced before, and that just chips away at your inner being and it breaks down pieces of you, you're gonna begin to do things that you never saw yourself doing before. You're gonna say things that you don't really mean, and if you're not able to do what's necessary to get yourself out of it or to allow people to help you out of it, you'll find that you become a shell of yourself and you believe this false narrative that this is you now. The sad thing is that I think that there are people in this world who they have been in that place for so long that it's become their normal. This is who they are. There is no better for them. And that's just not true. There is more for you. I got to the point where our marriage was almost falling apart before it even got to really start. And I had to do what was necessary to save my life. I don't know what that might mean for you. Maybe the stress, the depression, or the anxiety is not as bad for you, but you shouldn't ignore it. You shouldn't undermine its power, because if you do, you will slowly fall into a place of being asleep, of just accepting that this is the norm, this is the ordinary, instead of realizing that there are plenty of things that you can do to take one step closer to a better you. I don't want to undermine the difficulty. I don't want to make it seem like there's this simple solution, because there isn't. And I remember that well-meaning people will tell you like, yo, you just need to do this, or you just need to do that. You know better. You have a great life. Look at your family. Look at what you have going on. Look at what you have around you. You should be grateful. And it's like, that's not really what that person needs to hear at that moment. So I don't want to be one of those people. I want you to just know that even if I don't know you, I'm here for you. I'm here in this moment, speaking to you, sharing my story with you, only in hopes of giving you a small glimmer of hope. They say that many people don't want to commit suicide. They just don't want to live the life that they're living anymore. And the line between that is so thin. We don't want to die. You just feel like you get to a point where the life that you're living is not what you want. I can be the type of person, especially in the current wave that I'm in right now, that I can be very motivational. And what I mean by that is that I can really lean towards trying to be motivating. I really believe that you have power to create the life that you want to create. But what I don't want to say is that it's simple, because it's not. It's not simple. It's not easy. I was there before. I was broken in so many different ways, for so many different reasons. I really thank God that I am where I am today, because things could have taken a completely different turn. The main thing that happened for me was that I decided I did not want this to be my normal anymore. That dark place is not your home. That depth of brokenness is not your normal state of being. That crippling anxiety, you can fight it. You can find glory in the fight. You can take steps to make things even slightly better. For each of us, that's going to be a different thing. And I think that this is such a delicate topic, so I want to be very careful with the words that I say. But if there's one thing I want to offer you, is that there is hope. There is something to live for. There is something worth fighting for. You are worth fighting for. And I want you to stand up and fight for your life. Fight for what you believe in. Fight for the things that you know you truly deserve. And one of the biggest things that you deserve in this life is a life of purpose, is a life with direction, is a life that you believe in, and you have the power to take steps to begin moving towards that. If you know somebody who's really struggled, I want you to reach out to them and tell them that you love them. Don't tell them they could be doing better. Don't tell them that their pain is not valid. Don't try to fix it. Just love them. That was the main thing that I needed. I just needed people who would be there. I just needed somebody to sit with me in the darkness, just to be there with me, and so that I would know that I wasn't alone. If you know somebody like that, I want you to reach out to them. Show them love. If you are that person, I want you to just tell yourself that you're still with yourself. Comment below. Say, I am with you. And if you feel like you can share one thing that maybe a person watching this video can receive, I want you to comment below a short message of whatever you want to say to them to encourage them and to tell them that there's still hope. I know I really didn't share much, but I hope to share more in the future of my story. I go a little bit blank at times because of how hard it is to go back to that place. But I do want you to know that I've been there. You guys know the usual. If you enjoyed this short video, I want you to like, subscribe to the channel, and definitely share it with somebody. If you want to know more of my story, please feel free to ask me questions about it below. I appreciate you guys. God bless you. You can go ahead. I can edit it out later.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You're gonna put her down to nap?
Yeah, she got caca. I'm like, come on.
And she got caca. Talking about my daughter, not anything else.
She got caca.